Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 6th round of the 1954 season, the German Grand Prix. It was held on the 1st of August, it had 23 entries, 20 of them took part in the race but only 10 managed to finish the race, which consisted of 22 laps completed in 3 hours 45 minutes and 46 seconds. Fangio started the race from pole, Hawthorne was second, Moss third, Hans Hermann fourth, and Gonzalez fifth. Fangio won the race, Gonzalez gave his car to Hawthorne who crashed his own. He eventually finished in second, 1 minute 36.5 seconds behind the leader. Trintignant finished third, he was 5 minutes 8.6 seconds behind. Carl Klink finished in fourth, 6 minutes 6.5 seconds behind, and Mantovani rounded off the top 5. He was 8 minutes 50.5 seconds adrift. The fastest lap was posted by Carl Kling and the time was 9 minutes 55.1 seconds. We're back at the famous and infamous Nordschleife, aka the Green Hell, and the lap starts off with a relatively long run down into turn 1, a tight left-hander, which immediately leads into turn 2, a long right-hand hairpin. Later on we come into this blind right-hand corner. Don't go too fast through here as you could crash into the bridge on the exit. Later still, we come into this tricky slow left-hander. Be careful not to hit the edge of the bridge. A little bit later still, we come into yet another left-hander, just like with the previous one. Make sure to slow down so as not to hit the bridge. This leads into this uphill blind right-hander. Proper throttle management is crucial here as the track has a slight negative camber and you can very easily lose the car as you crest the hill. From here the track opens up a bit. Next up we come into one of the most recognizable corners in motorsports, the carousel. Try to aim your car towards the second tree from the right and feed it through the ball. Make sure to take your time as using too much speed through here can end in tragedy. Several corners later we come into the mini carousel. You can use a bit more speed through here but make sure you keep the car within the ball. After a long right-hander we come onto the longest straight in Formula 1, culminating in a shallow left-right chicane. Easy with the power as you cross over the bridge, otherwise you can lose the car, just like me. But that is a lap around the Nordschleife. And here we are in qualifying for the German Grand Prix, coming around to set our only qualifying lap, unfortunately, because the track is so long, and that is a 9:24.1, which is 1 minute slower than current pole sitter André Pilet. I would go for another run, but this circuit is so long and this car is just such a handful that I cannot be bothered to do it again. So whatever happens happens. And here we have the German Grand Prix winners. We are not on there yet. Hopefully our name will be there eventually. That would be quite nice. But next let's go for the grid walk. We have Fangio on pole, very well done for him. Pilet second, Jean Berra third, Maurice Trintignant fourth, and Jose Freilan Gonzalez rounding off the top 5. Umberto Maglioli is 6th, Eli Bayol 7th, Onofre Marimon 8th, 9th is Mike Hawthorne, Nino Farina 10th, 11th is held by Sterling Moss in the green Maserati, Robert Manzon is 12th, Luigi Musso 13th, 14th is held by Roberto Mieres, Sergio Mantovani 15th. Very interesting that Andy Higgs qualified in 17th, Villoresi 18th, 19th is Prince Bira, and Alberto Ascari only qualified in 20th, which is very interesting. So, the German Grand Prix, last season we finally managed to finish a race here. Hopefully we can do that here again. I'm not hoping for any points here because, well, the car is just too slow unless there are enough retirements, and slow down because that Maserati is going all over the place and I don't want to crash my car just yet. Well, the best thing would be never to crash the car, but it's kind of difficult when you have so much understeer. Look at how much I'm turning the wheel just to go through that corner. That shouldn't happen. Anyway, we come onto this back straight here. Try maybe try to go for an overpass. Maybe, yes, we are faster than Bira obviously on the straight. The Mercedes is very good in straight lines, but suffers greatly through corners. And here we have another look at the start. A puff of smoke coming off our rear tires as we launch, but we do quite well, not losing too many positions until the number 10 Maserati there in front of us decided to lose control, and just to be cautious I lifted the throttle and let everyone else through because I didn't want to crash into anyone, obviously. Anyway, let's see if we can catch at least a couple of people here. There are a few sections where the track opens up and we can be a bit faster. Hopefully we can do something. But Onofre Marimon managed to lose control of his car through this dangerous right-hander. So we move up into 19th. A few corners later, Ascari loses control of his car. So we move up into 18th, which is quite nice. Although I don't think we'll be keeping these positions for long. And here we see a couple of other cars, including Moss, losing the control of their cars, and we now move up into 16th with Prince Bira still in front of us. Alberto Ascari is now right on my tailpipe. I will have to move over and let him through because I just don't have the speed through the corners, so that's the gentlemanly thing to do, and this is the gentleman era. And we come into this left-hander and it looked like Lang was missing his front left wheel as I went a bit fast. Again, you cannot completely stop the car unless you either shift into neutral or step on the clutch, and it just didn't occur to me. And we're now having a look at Luigi Musa, who loses control of his car, drives into the fence and, well, flips his car. Eli Bios did the exact same thing, so he retires. And here we see Herman Lang coming around, crashes into the number 33 Ferrari, the car we drove the last couple of seasons. Drove into the Ferrari, lost his front left wheel, and Herman Lang is out of the German Grand Prix. Kind of a shame that he had to retire from his home Grand Prix, but we're coming around to start lap 2 now, and Robert Manzon is out of the race, so we move up into 11th due to all of those retirements. And here we see a replay. He comes around, goes wide, crashes into the fence, loses his front left wheel, and that's the end of his race, unfortunately. Next we have Hawthorne, who comes through this right-hander. I don't know why, but he drove into the fence and lost his front right. Next we have André Pilet, who's decided to go off-roading for a bit there. Drove up the hill. He's now behind the fence. There's no way for him to return to the track, unfortunately. So whatever happens, happens. This actually reminds me of another incident at the Belgian Grand Prix. Was it 52, 51? Someone else, another AI managed to kind of get them stuck behind the fence, and well, they had to retire, obviously. And here we have Roberto Mieres in his Maserati coming around, loses control of the car just before the final few corners, and I'm not entirely sure what happened here. I guess the AI became confused or didn't know where it was because it just decided to retire. And as we cut back to our own race, we are chasing after Roberto Mieres at the moment, who is 10 seconds up the road. Sergio Mantovani is right behind us, about 3 seconds behind. We are up in 11th. Hopefully we'll be able to, well, later on Sergio Mantovani managed to overtake us as we come through this right-hander, lose control of the car. That was bad driving on my part, and we lose a bunch of positions and a bunch of time through there. As we now have a look at the number 2 Ferrari, who crashes into the fence and loses its front right wheel. Still chasing after the people who overtook us, nearly losing the back there, but managed to catch it quite beautifully this time. Thankfully there wasn't an opposite camber there, and on lap, just as I start the lap, the 4th lap, I don't know why, but I started braking way too late and ended up crashing into the fence and losing my front right wheel. Unlike in qualifying, this wasn't intentional. This was all a mistake. I didn't pay too much attention. I broke too late, and you saw there I locked up the wheels and ended up in the fence. So unfortunately that is the end for our German Grand Prix. Would have liked to, well, at least finish the race here at our team's home Grand Prix, but it looks like that won't be the case, as we see Juan Manuel Fangio going on. Hopefully he'll finish the race, but who knows. And here we have Stirling Moss, who on lap 5 or 6 I believe had an engine problem and had to retire. Here we have Onofre Marimon coming into the pits to retire as well. This is on the final lap, which is quite interesting. We've seen this quite a few times, but I still don't understand it. Here we see Prince Bira coming into the pits to retire. I would understand it if at least there would be a reasoning behind it, but there isn't. This is Villoresi coming into pit as well, and finally Mantovani did so too. So those are all the retirements. And here we see Jean Berra coming around to take the German Grand Prix. Ascari second, Umberto Maglioli third, Farina fourth, and Jose Froilan Gonzalez is fifth, with Ascari posting the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately, it is not a lap record. And here we have the retirements. Unfortunately, Higgs is on this list. Could have been better, but could have been worse as well, so I guess you need to pick the worst of two evils, right? But anyway, here are the career statistics, and this was Andy's 39th Grand Prix. His best start is first, has 2 pole positions, has set 8 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 25 races, 23 of those were in the points, 13 of which were victories, and 2 of those victories were at the Indianapolis 500. Andy has also won 3 championships, has amassed a total of 149 points during his career so far, has 14 retirements, has experienced 802 laps out of 1058 laps, has 5 bronze trophies, 2 silver trophies, 13 gold trophies, and as an extension 13 podiums. And here we have a quick look at the championship standings. Ascari is still leading the championship by quite a margin. Jean Berra is second, Umberto Maglioli third, Manzon fourth, and Luigi Villoresi is in fifth, whilst Andy Higgs is 12th, and everyone down to 16th place, which is held by Moss, has scored points. And we've arrived to that point in the season where we start dropping points. So remember, this season we keep the 5 best results as opposed to the 4 best results as we've seen in the previous seasons. But yeah, that is the German Grand Prix. Not a particularly good race, at least not for Higgs. Very good for Ascari. He managed to finish second and post the fastest lap, so that's 7 points for him, increasing his lead in the championship. He can still lose it at this point, so nothing is quite certain at the moment. We still have 3 races to go. Our next race is the Swiss Grand Prix, where once again it's going to be sketchy for Higgs and the Mercedes, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But that is it for this video and from me. Don't forget to vote for next season's theme, link is in the description. Also, my new channel is up and running. There is even a video for those of you who are interested. The channel is called Metal Gamer Andy, and if you are interested in checking it out, I will leave a link in the description box below, and I'll also leave a end card at the end of the video. That's why they call it end card. And hopefully I'll see you all there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.